Good morning, and with us today we have Archit Anand, who is the founder of Omniro. Omniro is one of the startups who was selected into the Highway to 100 Unicorns program from the Philippines. Archit, very warm welcome. And I'm Lathika Pai, who heads venture capital and private equity partnerships for Microsoft here in India. And really, really happy to have you here and as a part of the Emergex program. Archit, it's fascinating in terms of what you're doing with Omniro, and it would be great for us to understand what was it that gave you the impetus to start, Omniro, and what was it that brought you into this entrepreneurial journey of yours?
All right. Thanks, Lathika. Thanks for the introduction, and good morning to everyone as well. So I've been born and raised in India myself, and I was a computer science engineer by profession, worked as a software engineer, and then moved over to Singapore after my master's in global business, which I did over 3 cities. And that's pretty much where I sort of entered into the e-commerce and the online retail space in Southeast Asia. And it was pretty fascinating being an Indian and having an overview of what's happening across the globe and to see what's then happening in Southeast Asia. It sort of gave me a good perspective around what's happening. And so my childhood, I was born and brought up in Gujarat in a way. So I've been surrounded by a lot of entrepreneurs, and my friends are all entrepreneurs as well. So those entrepreneurial instincts were always there. In my college, I was always thinking about what I can do on my own. I was not too much into getting a job or, like a lot of Indian mindset, which we have like that. So along the way in 2017, 2018, when I had a good exposure around what's happening in the market in Southeast Asia and Australia, New Zealand, and figured out that, okay, the future is omni-channel, and there's a gap in the market where the interplay between online and offline is missing, and we can build a platform around it where we can connect offline retail outlets and offline warehouses with the online e-commerce channels and build a SaaS around it, which is localized in nature in Southeast Asia, because a lot of softwares coming into Southeast Asia are not localized for the businesses over there. So that was the whole vision with which I started Omnirio, and I was fortunate enough to give a pitch to one of the biggest retailers in Philippines at that time, and they were happy to look at the solution, and they gave me a go ahead to try it out. So that's how my journey began back in 2018.
Great.
And yeah.
It's been 3 years since you started. And how has the pandemic been for you? From speaking to other founders, they have found that it's probably been a boon more than anything else because of the adoption of technology has, been that much faster. How has it been for you?
Likewise. With us, our core market was pretty was the biggest sort of casualty, as you can say, for what happened around us a year ago. A lot of our customers, as we say, like as I mentioned, we are trying to do the offline to online sort of solution for them, bringing their on retail outlets online. What happened as soon as COVID hit was like a lot of these retail outlets closed out, right? So then the focus was only on e-commerce and online. And we made a small pivot ourselves, Lathika. During that time, we initially pre-COVID, we were focusing on large enterprises and working with bigger brands in the market. But after and post-COVID, we started also working out with MSMEs and SMEs in the market as well. And we figured out that they are the ones who need the most help right now. And so our platform now caters to SMEs, MSMEs, and bigger brands. And we're now catering to more than 100 customers. And through this time, we were able to grow 5 times our revenue last year. So it was a good year for us. And we are now in a good place to sort of rocket fuel our ship right now and then take it further.
Definitely, that's very, very exciting to hear. And I think it's a really smart move for you to have also looked at not just the large enterprises, but to the MSME and SME, small business sectors. What's interesting is that, you have 4 different products, right? And what are those different products, and how do you see them being leveraged by, businesses, both the brick and mortar and e-commerce?
Yeah. So what we've done is at the whole, we are a platform, and we've built different modules on it depending to the needs. So it's a modular approach, depending on the needs of the customers. the most used part of our platform is basically the e-commerce ERP or the e-commerce inventory and order management platform, which a lot of the MSMEs are using right now for them to manage their multi-channel e-commerce sales. Because MSMEs are more focused right now on multi-channel part of it. And then what we've done through our CRM is they are now able to see who their customers are as well. A lot of the MSMEs never focused on having a CRM in their platform and never knew what their customers are buying. So through our software now, at least not just the MSMEs, but the brands themselves, they run their white label loyalty programs or reward programs on our platform. We have brands like Lacoste, Gap, and many more who are running their entire loyalty programs on our platform as well. So we give them a customer centric view of where the customers are buying online, offline, which channels, which locations, which stores, what's the average basket size, and all of that. That comes through us through the platform, and we bring that into a CRM module for them. And then through that, they can also automate a lot of marketing through us. So customer retention and all of that happens. All the automations through the database which is collected in a platform is happening as well. For our inventory management, the smaller SMEs who have a single warehouse, they just use it for multi-channel purposes. But the larger businesses like Asia Brewery and few other big conglomerates in Philippines, they're using us for the multi-location setup as well, and their hyper-local delivery setup for their e-commerce. So they're using our platform to manage all of that. We've built some AI and ML behind where we can push the orders based on the address of the customers coming to the nearest store, and they can fulfill it quickly in 1 or 2 hours from our software as well. So those are different capabilities. It's a platform as a whole, but then we modularize it based on the needs of the customers from there.
Great. So, we are very excited to have you as part of the Highway to 100 Unicorns program and being, one of the Emergix winners. What do you see as a support that we can give you as Microsoft in terms of, the great growth and the scale that you're looking to achieve for Omniro?
I think I was very happy to have sort of gotten into this program, to be honest. And with Microsoft, we know that we can rely as a player who's the biggest player in the market in terms of the software and the infrastructure. So I think one of the I think there are 2 points to it. One is the scale and the expertise which you guys are sharing with us in terms of the cloud and the Azure. I think as a SaaS platform, we definitely with the growing business, we need to make sure that we are able to support all our customers and we have a scalable product and we are able to give them 100% uptime all the times, right? And I think that's where your technical expertise in helping us out with our cloud architecture and setup, all of that will be great. And beyond that, I think on the business side, Microsoft already is present in most of the markets where we are in, and our customers are also using Microsoft products. So leveraging on your reach in the market is also something we are looking to leverage on in the future.
No, absolutely. I think, what we are looking forward to is to helping you, get your technical architecture more robust and take you to other countries. Which countries are you seeing your, the majority of your clients? I'm assuming it's the Philippines, but which other parts of Asia are you in? Do you see a product going global? What would that look to you? And so it'd be great to know what your journey and your plans for your journey henceforth is.
Yeah, no. So the plan. So before I started Omnirio, I was actually living in Singapore, and we set up a company in Singapore. And then when we started Omnirio, I moved over to Philippines because our initial customers were there, and the approach I took was very different than a lot of other software or let's say startups who are not Filipinos, but they start in Singapore and then they come to Philippines. What I wanted to do and what we still want to do is become the #1 player in the Philippines market at the moment, like this year. That's our aim for 2021. But at the same time, we want to start moving out into other markets in Southeast Asia as well. So Indonesia, Vietnam, few of them which I'm looking into to move into either the end of this year or early next year. And then we'll see from there. The applications of our platforms are global. At the end, it's O2O platform which can be used by retailers worldwide. But in terms of localization and localized integrations part, we are focusing one country at a time, so that we can then bring in the local partners on our platform and help them at a holistic platform view as well.
So, when you say you have 100 customers, now that number is a large number. What is your universe, right? Are we talking about 1,000, 10,000, a million? So I'm curious.
The universe, to be honest, what we built is from our customer varies right now, and our pricing varies as well. So our pricing, the lowest customer who pays us right now is 650 peso, which is $13 a month. And the biggest customer right now is paying us somewhere around $5,000 a month as well. So it depends on these different personas. You have someone who is a fresh graduate, or a girl who is studying in a college. She's running a fashion brand through our platform, selling it on local marketplaces like Zalora, Lazada, Shopee. She's paying us for our software, whereas we have brands like Lacoste and Marks and Spencer who are running their omni-channel program on our software as well. So the idea has always been from the start to be able to help everyone in the market who has ambitions to do retail and online business. So the universe is pretty big for us. That's what makes it very big. We also have F&B outlets now who are trying to go online and use our software to also manage their online business. So even in Philippines alone, we believe it's $100 to $200 million market for us, Philippines alone. And as we move out of Philippines to other countries, the market exponentially expands as well.
Wow, I do like your strategy actually to say that and that was why I said, what is that universe? And clearly, if it's $100 to $200 million business in the Philippines itself, your idea to focus and kind of go deep in one market and become the leader there is really a smart one, because you can definitely this way you're not kind of being stretched both physically, I mean, once hopefully things open up, but in terms of your team size, etc. No, this is very exciting. And do you see much competition to what you're doing, Archit?
Like, not exactly an apple to apple competitor, but there are few players in the multi-channel online e-commerce multi-channel space. What we're trying to do is more holistic omni-channel and ecosystem play. That's something which is missing in the market, and that's the space I wanted to target. I know as a retailer, and having worked with the e-commerce players in the market, there is a gap. They need to use 5 or 6 different windows or softwares just to manage their end-to-end order processing sort of setup when you're selling online in Southeast Asia. And that should change. You should be doing everything in one single place. And that's sort of where Omnirio was brought up. So we want to collaborate with all the ecosystem partners and bring them onto one platform so that the retailer has it easy for them. And in that space, there are players who are trying to come in, but it's not an easy thing to do. And that's why you see, we've been there in the market for 2.5 years, and it's a hard grind. But I think one which, if you can get it right, the market is there for you.
No, I think, like I said, I like both your strategies, which is one is become the ecosystem player and partner, and bring aggregate everything in so that it's you're not kind of jumping from one app to the other app to kind of get things done. It's a huge productivity, time, cost, all of that that comes into play. And I like the fact that you can go in from a small to large, right? In terms of helping anyone who's trying to do business in the retail space, right? Both combining the brick and mortar to the online e-commerce space. So very exciting. Thank you for your time today. Good luck. We are here on your journey, in terms of being a part of the highway to 100 unicorns, and to support you through that. And look forward to working closely with you.
Thanks, Lathika. Thank you. Thank you all to the Microsoft family as well. Thank you.
Great. Thanks. Thanks, Archit. Cheers.
Yes.